Welcome in then to the latest edition of Extra Time. Are we on?
I guess so.
Oh, wait. Hold your horses. Here we are. Yes. Thank you as always for your tweets. Shaka with me as is. Nedum and Juls. As always, we're addressing the big questions here. No, not whether or not Juls has joined a barbershop quartet. We are addressing, though, hats and goalkeepers, Shaq. Dean Henderson wore a cap in the second half of the game today and got a high five from Lindelof after making a save. This question's two parts, Shaka.
Okay.
Have you ever worn a hat, or have you ever received a high five?
I think I might have received a high five or two in my time. Hats don't make sense to me. I don't think they serve the purpose that you think.
The purpose is to keep the sun out of your eyes.
Yes, but if the ball goes up into the sun and you're looking at the ball in the sun,
right,
the lid of the cap does nothing for you.
So why do people wear caps?
I don't know, Dan. That was what I'm trying to say. I never wore caps.
Right.
It's not like you're at the beach and you're trying to look out,
What are you looking at the beach,
You're looking out over the surf. You're looking out over the lovely horizon.
Yeah.
And you're trying to keep the sun out your eyes. It's totally different. You don't look at the lovely surf when you're around. Carry on. What was the other part? High fives.
High fives.
Yeah, I got a couple of high fives.
You got a few high fives. Nedum, do you wish you could have worn a hat during the game?
No, to be honest, no, I don't at all. But as for high fives, though, I tend to give out high fives if they really deserve it, but I'll make sure that they earn it. It's not just one or two saves. You need to make 3 or 4, and then I'll start giving you the high fives.
Oh, I like it.
He's selfish with high
I like
fives.
it. No, because then you feel like you've really earned it.
Oh, yeah?
Juls, do you get high fives after a good performance on the Gab and Juls podcast, or just a big man hug from Gab?
It's neither, which is a bit disappointing. As you know, in France, men kiss each other to say hello and goodbye, and you see often in football when you score a goal, they all celebrate together, but there's a lot of kissing. I wonder if Nedum and Shaka were kissers or not so much. In France, even at my level, we were very much kissers.
Right. Okay. Well, this is taking us down an interesting corridor.
I would like to defer from that question.
No kissing.
No.
Nedum?
I've given a few head kisses. I've given 1 or 2 kisses on the face cheeks, but you have to really, really deserve those.
Yeah.
We're talking match winners, game winners, that type of thing.
Yeah, who got those kisses, Nedum?
To be honest, I barely remember, but they deserved it in the moment.
Yeah.
So you just handing out kisses and you can't remember who you kissing?
No, special ones.
But he can't even
maybe I
remember
kissed
who
many
he kissed.
people. That's the thing.
But did you get kissed? I imagine Di Canio was a kisser.
I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
Okay. That's HR saying we've got to move on. If you were a player of one of these 12 teams forming Super Leagues, how would you feel about it, especially
Rich.
especially if you're playing for the team and you get banned from playing for a country, Shaq?
I'm not in favour of it at all. I enjoy playing for my country. I still think it's as I've said time and time again, it's the highest honour in football. I don't want it. For me, there is no motivation for this other than money. If that's all that motivates you as a player, I'm going to get paid 5 times more than I would otherwise, then fine, that's on you. That's just not me.
If the Super League did happen, which new sport would you follow, and what job would Jules like if he quit as a football journalist? Ooh. Oh.
To be fair, I would watch the Super League. And I think, just to come back on the question before, I think all those players of those clubs are in the unknown right now. No one knows what's going to happen. You don't know if they will get banned or not. But if you ask them, do you want to play Messi and Barcelona every week? Do you want to play Real Madrid every week or Liverpool? They will say yes. Of course they will, because they want to play the biggest games. I would probably become a basketball reporter. I'll move to New York or to Bristol, Connecticut, I guess, and I'll just follow the NBA, which was pretty cool.
Oh, look at that style.
Looks like my jump shot a little bit.
Yeah. Nedum, it's the old classic, isn't it? What you would have done if you weren't a footballer. I think we discussed this before. You'd be a sprinter, yeah?
Well, no, probably not. I probably would have just been still doing some sort of college thing, maybe an accountant or whatever, because I was good at that. But
all right.
At the end of the day, I was the educated type. But I think for me, if I stop Shut up, Dan. But anyway, if I stopped, if the Super League happened, I'd probably watch it, like Jules would say. But if I had to watch another sport, I'd just take up watching golf, and I'd try and get a job on the PGA Tour and just travel across America with all the good weather, watching the good golf.
I like golf.
I knew we were going to brag about your golf. I knew it.
I need to say as well, you talked about high fives. You deserve a high five for your podcast because it was a lot of fun to be on. So there you go, have that.
What you doing? Don't compliment his podcast when you're on this show.
I think Jules deserves a kiss.
Dan, it's not about
Why?
you.
What is going on?
Yeah, talent recognizes talent.
Good podcast, Gavin June. All right.
Do you want a high five, Dan?
No, I don't.
Is that what's going
I'm
on here?
upset now. This is.
Do you? Dan wants a high five, Nedum.
No, your hands are so much bigger than mine.
I'm not giving you a high five.
Well, who's going to give me a high five then?
I
You're
don't
the
know.
only one to say it.
Not me.
Nobody, because
I
you
know
don't
that.
deserve it.
Okay,
You don't deserve
we
it.
got to frame up. I've got to show the difference between Shaka's
No
hand
way.
size and mine. Can we do this? Which camera? Right, so there's Shaka's hand. Look at that. Look at those. You can bet twice mine on. High five.
well.
That hurt my hand.
You could do a two-handed high five.
Ah, dear. I can fit my whole hand in my mouth. Would you like to see that?
No thanks.
See, don't get out of the Gavin Juls podcast.
Go on, show the people.
No.
I think the people want to see you
Yeah,
put your
that's
whole
a
hand
Can
in
I
your
just
ball.
see it? Ready?
Yeah.
Here it goes.
Yeah.
God, this is good television now.
That is good.
Yep. Sports semis, you watching?
Oh my God.
No, is that a big mouth or a small hand? Right.
And
Nedum.
that's how we got the job.
Nedum. What were the London derbies with QPR like? Which was the most intense?
The one with Chelsea, it felt more one way because Chelsea, obviously, they were very successful and so on. At QPR, we weren't successful in that moment. But the ones with Brentford, I think they felt better because it was more competitive. The stadiums were just that little bit closer and there was more of an edge to it. But yeah, as I say, they were good. They were good. I think they mattered, but probably not as much as other derbies that I played because I was lucky enough to play in the sort of Sunderland-Newcastle one, and that literally is life or death. But the London derbies in West London were good, as I say, but they never really felt of incredible significance, if you know what I mean, because the only eyes that were on it were for the people of West London as opposed to the rest of the country because it didn't really feel like it was, as I say, it was one of those big games.
Nedum, when a player gets the highest salary in the team league, does his attitude change?
When they get a higher salary, it depends on the player because there's some players who we've seen who aren't motivated by money. So when they do get that higher salary, it's because they deserve it, because they work hard and so on. But in the same way that is true for some, I have played with a player when I was younger who got a high salary, which probably came a bit too soon, and he decided to down tool from that moment. And within a year, 2 years, he actually quit the game. So that came at the worst possible time for him because he wasn't ready for it. But I think overall, if you're talking about the best of the best, then their attitude remains the same and they end up being even more value to the team because they understand that they are probably the most important player in the whole squad.
How much do you talk about it, Nedum?
Well, in the MLS, it's a bit more open since you can see it all online. But in England, that was weird. But in England, obviously, it's people say this guy's on this, that guy's on that. But there are lots of people, like myself, as long as I'm being paid well, I'm not concerned about what somebody else is getting because the money's not coming from my pocket. But for others, they're infatuated by it. Well, I need to earn more than him because this is his status, that's that status. But for some of those players, you know, they end up not staying at club very long because it gets to a point where money's more important than just playing itself. And yes, there is a balance, but I think in the end, the players that stay the longest are the ones who want to be there, and they want to be there regardless of whether they're number 1, number 2, or number 3.
Nedum, how did you know that it was time to hang up your boots? And what was the main factor in that decision?
It's all about me today. I would say, as I went over to the United States in 2018, the plan was to stay there for 2.5 years, and then I wanted to stop. So it wasn't a physical ailment or anything like that that made me decide to stop. The plan was to stop. I'd made plans to put my kids into school back in England for the January after retiring in December. I told my family this is what I was going to do. I had work lined up and things like this. So that it was just part of my journey, and I feel very fortunate because I retired on my own terms, and not many people get that opportunity. Financially, I was secure. Physically, I was good, and I felt proud to be able to walk off the field and know that I could carry on. But for where I am in my life, I would rather do something else. So the plan was there once I knew that I'd be going to America, and I just needed to play well in those years and then walk away happy, and that's thankfully what I've done.
Where did the working with me come into your plan, Nedum?
You know, before I actually joined ESPN, I did go on one show with you one time, and I thought this guy seems a bit moody. But having spent more time with you now on a week-to-week basis, you're a little bit less moody than I thought. So that's a positive.
I think that was
so
me.
working with you now, this is as good as working with some of the greats of the Premier League. You know, it's just as fun. Because now I know you're an Arsenal fan, I know what to say every single week.
Yeah, well, that's definitely not true. From one Arsenal fan to another, Jules, when did you know it was time to hang up your boots?
Well, to tell the truth, because Nedum didn't say the truth, when you know you can't run anymore, like Nedum was, and me, and probably a lot of others, that's really when you stop playing. But Nedum was too kind to say the truth. I had to stop my career because my dad said you have to study now, so forget all your dreams about maybe becoming one day a professional player.
Wow. Is that why you're so pushy with your kids now, to try and get them into sports to kind of live through that?
What do you mean pushing with my kids? My middle one, by the way, is going on trial at Watford soon. So
well, of course he has. He hasn't slept for 2 years. You've had him practicing every day.
He's very determined without me behind him. Don't worry about him.
Oh, very good, Jules. How old is he then, on trial at Watford?
8.
Oh, perfect. Oh, imagine how pushy Jules is.
We've seen him.
Yeah, I know. We've seen him.
Oh, no way. That's not true. That's not true.
We know what he's like. Finally, Dan, who was your favourite player growing up? For all of the guys, which World Cup is the most memorable for you and why? John Barnes was my absolute favourite player. I loved watching him, everything he did in England shirt for Liverpool as well. Favourite World Cup, 1998, I would say, probably.
Okay.
It's the first one I was allowed into a pub.
Oh, nothing about the football.
Oh, with Michael Owen.
I can't remember.
With Michael Owen scored against Argentina.
I can't remember a single game.
Yeah,
it
was good. The star in. Nedum, favourite World Cup memory?
Oh, it's tough to say. I'll make it a bit biased. I think it was in Germany in 2006, wasn't it? And I actually went over to watch a game over there. So I'm just going to say that one, because to be a part of it was a lot of fun.
Oh, and what game did you go and see?
Yeah, it was England versus Trinidad and Tobago, I believe, and it might have been in Nuremberg. But it was interesting to go over there and to see all that. And as a young player, I'm like, this is something I'll dream to do at some point. Never happened, but it felt great at the time.
Did you go and see that game at all, Shane?
You're welcome, Nedum.
Yeah, thank you, Shaka. Thank you.
Was that Peter Crouch pulling on Kevin Jones' dreads?
That was Peter Crouch and then Steven Gerrard in injury time. Yeah.
No.
That was my last ever game for Trinidad and Tobago.
Was it, Shaq?
Yeah.
Wow, there you are.
Nedum forced me to retire.
Nedum booing in the stands.
It's my fault. You're welcome.
Jules, what's your favourite World Cup? France 2008.
For the same reason as Dan. Same World Cup for the same reasons.
I'm just glad you asked me the question. I'm really glad you asked me the question.
Yes.
I think I'll probably say, let me think. Hang on, let me think. 2018 and 1998. You know when your country actually wins it? You know that feeling? Oh no, you don't know that feeling. Of course, neither of you three know that feeling. But I've had 2 already in my lifetime, which is great. And 1990, because I finished the Panini album. And I was 10, and that was the one really I remember, the first one.
I can't wait for your son to score for England against France and watch you cry, Jules. Beaten by your own boy.
In your dreams. In your dreams. He will never play for England. My kids will never play for England.
Oh, no, the rebel in them will take them very much to 3 Lions. That is it. Thank you very much, guys. ESPN FC returns to your screens tomorrow. Liverpool in action against Leeds. Plus, I imagine, a lot more discussion about the proposed Super League. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.